Hey, what's up guys, it's ElasticSpyder here, and in today's video we are looking at a Montana replay that I had with one of my APOC friends, Super K I can't pronounce it. We, for the most part, call him Super. He is in his gearing, I'm in my Montana, and we are on the map tiers of the cruisers. And so we are going to be moving towards A because that's pretty much where we spawn, and it's not a bad cap to try and contest. It seems like it's a little bit out there in terms of where the other caps are positioned, but it can be a pretty good point lead if you can actually take control of it. So that's what we're going to do. Going over to my captain perks, I've got this is again my Supremacy League build. So I've got, I believe, Priority Target. Then I've got Adrenaline Rush. Then Basics of Survivability, Concealment, AFT, and Manual Fire Control for AA armaments. And then as well, I probably have Catapult Fighter. So you would most likely see 2 catapults. So, moving on to my modules, I've got Main Armaments Mod 1, then I have AA Range Mod 2, then Accuracy, the American BB Accuracy, then Damage Control Mod 1, I believe Damage Control Mod 2, and then I've got Concealment. So, Shimakaze was spotted. My buddies in the gearing, he engaged him, and there's kind of a stalemate now. There was an Iowa briefly spotted coming towards A, so I'm just trying to stay angled for as long as possible until he shows up. He shot at me, so I'm going to turn in a little bit and return fire. If you did notice, there was 2 enemies targeting me, so I know at least one of them was the Iowa. The other one was most likely the Shimakaze, which is why you see those torps. So that's part of the reason why I turned in. But right now I have to kind of stay undetected. I don't want to be showing myself, and I don't want to be showing myself, especially because there is a Missouri in E3, E4, who has a decent amount of broadside on me. So I'm going to stay undetected as long as possible, and until I'm angled sufficiently. So at this point, there's not much resistance at A. The enemy team has done a hard push at B, and they are kind of spreading out at C. Our team is as well doing a somewhat hard push towards C, but I think we do outnumber them here at A, so that is good that we do have the cap, and we are pushing them away. At this point, Super asked me if I would like smoke, and I say yes. Why, of course. If I'm gonna get smoke from any ship, a gearing would be my #1 pick. So Super is gonna start smoking, and maybe he can get the Zao in here as well, so we can just burn some of these things down. So, after, I believe, this next salvo, I'm going to actually switch to HE, and this is just because I wasn't getting good numbers for my AP pen, so I figure what's wrong with switching to HE and start burning them. Torpedoes from most likely a Shimakaze are coming in. Let's see if I can't dodge these. Oh boy, it's gonna be close. Holy cow. Gosh darn it. Either way, it's not that big of a deal. I'm in smoke for another minute and 40 seconds, so by that time my damage control will be up, and if I do decide to heal, that will be up as well. So again, not too big of a deal. So we do, my buddy in the gearing, he does end up getting a torp hit on the Iowa, which causes him to flood. Unfortunately, there is no one spotting. The Missouri did get smoked up by, I believe, the Shimakaze that was over there. So of course his smoke isn't going to last as long as the Gearing's. So maybe I can get a few, maybe a salvo, maybe 2 salvos out before he is able to see me. Fortunately though, he is spotted right now, and I've got HE loaded. This is okay. I mean, he's still somewhat bow on, but I do get a fire and knock out 13 AA platforms, I guess. So, who said that the Conqueror is the only good HE spammer in the game? Montana's not that bad. Either way, this Missouri is going to be going broadside very shortly here. I'm going to hold my fire until he's at about 60, 70 degrees. There's no point in me shooting right now. If I was a cruiser shooting AP and I had a short enough reload, I could start popping him a little earlier, but I decide to hold until the very last minute. Dispersion looks okay. Unfortunately, what I thought was good dispersion ended up not being very good dispersion, so that Missouri gets out quite lucky with only 11k. So at this point, 7 minutes in, somewhat boring of a match thus far. Not much to do, only 41k. You're probably thinking, why is Spyder showing me this replay? And it's getting there, guys, it's getting there. So I will give a decent amount of broadside, so of course I'm shooting at him. Maybe a Citadel. Nope. 3.9k, but more torp beats incoming. Super dodges them. And now it's a question of, can I dodge them? So, even though the Montana is less maneuverable than the Yamato, it can still do some very nice torpedo dodges, like you're seeing here. So again, at this point, I switched back to HE, and I think this is something that separates some of the better battleship players from some of the best, is knowing when to use HE. Most of the time you don't want to be using HE nearly at all. I know a lot of people say you should be using HE against destroyers, but sometimes it can be very effective against Missouri, or against battleships in general, just due to the fact that you can do things like this: set 2 fires, break AA modules, and this allows me to just constantly farm damage, because if I get 1 fire, most players, most decent players, will just let that burn, and even though that might not seem a lot, it's pretty much all repairable. You can actually get them low enough, especially if you put on consecutive fires. You can actually get some decent damage. And what's really nice is things like this, where the Missouri has already repaired and he's already popped his heal, I believe, or he is currently healing, it looks like, but then I switched to AP and now he's nearly dead because I did set 2 fires on him. If I hadn't done that, if I switched into HE, you know, he would still be alive, he'd still be shooting at me, he'd still be killing, or make an attempt at killing me, or the Zao behind me, who does not really enjoy getting killed. So we have since found the other Shimakaze. He is up northwest, and again some more torp beats incoming. Oh my gosh, it was a very, very close one. I think I'll make this one. I just don't want to oversteer here. That is something you do always have to watch out for. But I did slow down a little bit, and of course turned my rudder to the other side, which allowed me to torp beat that somewhat easily. One thing I don't want to do here is get spotted, and that is exactly what I do, which again is not ideal. I was shooting at me, of course. However, I'm about 60 degrees now, but oh, I got lucky there. That should have been a Citadel or 2. I know the Montana just did somewhat recently get a lower Citadel, but still it is quite deadly. 16k on the Iowa in return. I was actually aiming for the front Citadel almost through the bow, but he ended up moving forward, and either way I'll take that 16k damage. any day of the week. Our gearing is pelting him. Oh wow, he got me for 17k. So we're pretty even. But at this point, at 10k, yeah, showing this much broadside to an Iowa, or to a Montana, as Super steals that kill somehow. Perfect timing, I must say. I can actually blame lag for that one. So you guys should give me credit. And in any case, we still have a lot of work to do. They've got C. Their ships are pretty spread out, but they have a very nice circle around us. Even though their Shima just did die, but either way, our line is way out of position. I'm nearly the only one guarding the cap, except for the Shimakaze and our Missouri behind me. So we are gonna have some work to do. I'm gonna try and torpedo this, but it doesn't look like I will be able to dodge this last torpedo. I will take that on the ass, and that's another bit of damage that I will not be able to have repaired fully, so that's again a bit unfortunate. So I'm gonna have to sail away, especially knowing that my damage control is now down and my repair party isn't up for another 50 seconds. So but I did manage to get one shell hit on that Z-23, and then my team ended up getting, I believe, 2 other kills, I believe on the Missouri and one other ship that I didn't quite catch. So it was a nice play by them. Gonna try and hit this gearing for 2700, not too bad. Unfortunately, I think I will only get 1 pen here. Yep, 1 pen, 1 base defend. So that's honestly all I could have asked for. The only other thing I would have been better would be a full kill, but sometimes you're asking too much of RNG. So at this point, our Shima's pretty low, so I know I'm gonna have to support him. Our Missouri's pretty low. Our Zaro's decently low. Our gearing, Super, he is still looking pretty strong. Their Shima gets spotted, I believe, through radar. Shoot my front 2 guns, and no hits, or 1 hit. Back 2. Let's see if they're any better. Dispersion looks good, but they again, most of them straddle, and I only get 1 shell hit. So I have to be careful here. I've got both my repair party and damage control up, but I do have to be careful of 1, the Gearing's torps, and 2, this HE spamming Hindenburg, which, when played properly, he can get 3, 4, 5k salvos if he knows how to aim. So I do have to be careful and strategically hit my heals. I do end up healing here. I am kind of scared of the Gearing torps. Oh, I know, right? Those amazing dispersions, at least horizontally. Sometimes they're just not good enough vertically. It's a bit unfortunate, but I popped my heal there just to get some more HP back. I only got about 10k, but 10k is a lot more than you think, especially when you're dealing with Gearing torps. However, I went straight back between the Kurfürst and the Hindenburg shooting me. I lost a lot of HP there. However, I'll take a 20k salvo for 10k from me any day of the week. But with the Gearing dead, I only have to worry about a Shimakaze that's on like 2k health, which my Gearing buddy can solo, as you're seeing here. And he takes that. So now it's 4v2. We've got 2 caps. They're 300 points behind. We're looking in a good position to win this game. Now I'm at 146k damage only with an Arsonist. My original plan there was to, or here is to actually take a right and cut before the island, but I realized that I couldn't make that turn, and instead of going around the corner broadside to those enemy ships and charging a Hindenburg with torps at such close range, I thought that was not a good idea, so I'm actually going to kind of chill right here and keep my guns pointed this way just in case the Hindenburg does come around that corner. Sooner or later, you just briefly did see the Kurfürst pop up, and there he is again. I see him there. He doesn't have his Hydro loaded, which is good for me. He doesn't know where I am just yet. At this point, my buddy Super, he says, oh, you should ram him. And in my head, I'm thinking, yeah, that's not a bad idea. It's actually a really good trade, 87k for 15k. But what I'm actually going to do here is actually turn away, and I do check his guns, where his guns are looking right there. He does look at me and doesn't see anything. Nice 28k cell. I pop my final heal because I know shells are going to be coming in pretty soon here. Hindenburg pops up, and I get a nice fire. He shoots at me. Very, very minimal damage. I do have to be careful with the Hindenburg though, because if he pops AP at me, he can kill me in 2 salvos. Now right here, I'm shooting right through the front, next to the front turret, right through the bow, and I will actually end up killing this guy for a good 30k to finish off the game. Alright, boys and girls, so after that very intense last few minutes, we're looking at 1 million credits, which is absolutely insane, 6,000 XP, and then 333 free XP, which wasn't that big of a deal. Arsonist, which isn't so common in a battleship, with 5 fires, Dreadnought, and high caliber, 202,000 damage. I ended up with 1 Citadel, which oddly enough was on the Kurfürst at close range. So for you guys that are looking to learn how to kill those German BBs faster, shoot through the bow and aim just before the, pretty much at the #1 turret, near the waterline. That pretty much guarantees your Citadel. Again, actually I wouldn't say guarantees, but you have a very, very good chance of getting at least 1 Citadel. This is something that actually Sneaky taught me, and I've since applied it to a lot of other ships, so thank you, Sneaky, for showing me that. But it does apply more so to German battleships, especially with their turtleback. I ended up getting 3 ship kills as well and 1 base defend against that gearing. Team score wise, topped the leaderboard 22-17 with 3 ships killed, and of course my buddy Super, he unfortunately got a little bit low me, but he was on a Kraken with 4 kills, so he did pretty good as well. So congrats to him. Detailed report, 159k with main battery, AP was 147, HE was at 12. Halfway to my Witherer though, almost, actually a little bit closer to 2/3, nearly 40k HE damage. But something I didn't even realize until I was looking at the post-battle results is I actually completed a mission that I just put on, which is in a battleship, do tank 2.5 million potential damage and survive the battle, something like that. And fortunately I was able to get 3 million, so a lot of torp beats and a lot of close quarter engagements with that Grosser Kurfürst helped me out on that one. If you do look at him, I ended up doing 80k to the Missouri and 73k to the Kurfürst, and that was between three different salvos, about 20, 30, and about another 30k each time. So very, very nice play on him. And then the rest of the guys I marginally hit, except for the gearing, which I pegged him for a good amount of his damage. Looking at credits earned, walk away with 800k at T10. That is amazing. I didn't have premium camo, although I believe I did have a few modifiers. But regardless, this is still a lot of money for T10, I would say. If you guys enjoyed the replay, please consider subscribing and leaving a like. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.